Jodie Suarez was one of 22,000 in that crowd, and she described what she saw this way.
Everything was fine, and then we heard two pop noises and thought it was a sound system, and then he kept continuing
dropped.
like nothing was wrong, and then we heard it continue, and he still was going, and then he fell.
He dropped and ran. He just ran off the stage, and then people started dropping to the floor, and then we were running out.
And then we ran out, and we saw some victims that were shot, and then we just kept running until we got to the cops.
That was Jodie Suarez on camera. She's now on telephone. Jodie, good morning. How are you doing?
We're hanging in there.
I can only imagine.
It was a crazy night.
Where were you?
Sure. We had the VIP tickets. We were all in the VIP center, and I was with my parents, my cousins, and my best friend, and my sister was actually in the crowd. And my sister said when she was in the crowd, a girl next to her got shot in the head. And that's when they ran out of there. And we all, when we first, it was 6 pops, and it was just bam, 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 bam. And we all thought it was part of the show maybe because it sounded like firecrackers almost. And then all of a sudden it was another round. And we were like, okay, we need to get out of here. So we ran as fast as we could. And we made it to the Tropicana, and then just people in a panic start yelling, there's a shooter in the Tropicana. So then we ran to Hooters, and they said there was a shooter in Hooters. It was just absolute, chaos. And then we finally made it into a little diner where an off-duty police man was in there, and he said, okay, we're putting this on lockdown, and we stacked all the tables and chairs up and covered the windows, and just basically were sitting ducks waiting till we could leave. And my sister, she's an emergency nurse, she stayed behind to help those who were injured.
It's almost as if the way you describe it, you all recognize the seriousness of the situation instantly and together at the same moment.
Yeah, and luckily for us, is me and my family did a really good job at, staying together. There was a moment where me and my best friend were running, and all of a sudden my parents were gone, and in my mind, I thought my parents were gone. And then, just making those phone calls to your friends, wondering if you're ever going to see them again. Oh, it's not something, you see all this stuff going on all the time.
How long were you separated, do you think, Jodie?
We were separated for probably about 30 minutes, and we got a hold of each other, and we told them we were at the Tropicana, so they headed over to the Tropicana. That's when they said there was a shooter in Tropicana, so we ran to Hooters where they were at, and then they ended up at the Tropicana. And then we all made it back to Hooters, and that's when we...
Give us a sense of how much ground does that cover from one hotel to the other, to the next?
We actually, by the time we were done running, we made it to the airport, and I looked it up this morning because I was like, I don't even know how we ran so fast and made it so far, and we looked up, it was about like 7, 8 miles of just running, and you're in a panic, and, all of us, every little sound we hear now, we're all just on the edge of our seats looking around like, what's going on?
Were you able to locate where the shots were coming from?
Well, they sounded, it was so loud, so we really didn't know. You could tell it was kind of coming from up higher. It wasn't coming from, like, the floor. So we did know it was, people were saying it was up on top of the Mandolin Bay. So we did know it was up high, and that's almost, I think, what was a little worse. You didn't know where it was exactly coming from.
Had you attended on Friday or Saturday, or was Sunday your first and only?
No, I've been going to this festival for the past 3 years. And it's sad that this is, I probably will never go back just for fear. I'm terrified to go to another concert ever again. It's horrible.
So you've been going to Vegas for the last 3 years specifically for this show?
Yes. Yeah. Specifically, we drive out from California every year for this festival, and we were staying at Mandolin Bay. We're at a friend's house in Vegas. Luckily, I have a friend that lives here, so we're off the strip far away, but all of our stuff, our cars, everything's at Mandolin Bay, so we don't know how long we're going to be stuck here.
Well, the sun is expected to come up at exactly 6:37 a.m. your time, which is 2 minutes from now, and you're waking up to a whole new town and a whole new world and a whole new situation that folks like you had no expectation going into an event like this. And are you able to absorb what you have experienced and witnessed yet, Jodie?
I don't know. I think we all have been up all night. Just no one slept. We're just all on the edge of our seats, just confused. And I don't think it's really sunk in. Like, my mom this morning was like hysterically crying. It finally hit her. I think the moment it hit me was when we finally made it to this little diner that we all like locked ourselves in, and I just was sobbing and was like, what is going on? You know, you have friends there. You don't know if all your friends are okay. Luckily, like I said, luckily all of my family made it out, and we all were able to stick together.
Thanks for sharing your story, and good luck back in California. You're gonna need it. Jodee Suarez,
Thank you.
my best to you and your friend and your parents as well.
My dad's a big fan of you.
Oh, well, you tell him we said hello from New York City, okay? And we're sending you our very best, all right? To the great American
Thank you so much.
Southwest. You bet.